The morning sun spilled across the wooden table in Emma's home. Buddy lay curled at her feet, his breathing steady, as though waiting for her to discover what came next. Emma, still in her nightgown, rubbed her sleep-tousled hair and reached for the object on the table, an old cedar box that had been tucked away in the attic. It was one of the few things Rusty had left behind when he went to live with his daughter after his accident. Inside, nestled amidst faded velvet, was a small package tied with a ribbon the color of dried blood. Curiosity piqued, Emma carefully untied the ribbon and lifted the lid. There, nestled inside, was a sealed envelope. And Buddy. Her hands shook as she opened the letter. Buddy whined softly, his ears perked and his eyes locked onto hers, as if he too had been waiting for this very moment. Emma cleared her throat, trying to steady herself. If you're holding this letter, it means I'm no longer beside you, but know this. Love never leaves, it simply changes its form. Buddy will protect you as he always has, and you, Emma, will give him a reason to keep shining. The world may feel empty for a time, but life will guide you forward. Tears welled up in Emma's eyes. She lowered the letter to her lap and stroked Buddy's fur. He wagged his tail softly, offering comfort the way only he could. Emma knew Rusty was at peace, but a profound sadness tugged at her heart. He was right. Later that day, Emma took Buddy on a walk to Rusty's favorite place, the riverside bench shaded by an old oak tree. Rusty had spent countless hours there, watching the water flow, teaching Emma to skip stones, telling her stories about his youth. The rhythmic sound of the flowing water had been the backdrop of countless shared moments between them. As they approached, a group of neighborhood children ran over to greet Buddy. His tail wagged faster, and his eyes lit up with joy. Emma smiled through her tears. Rusty had been right. Buddy carried his spirit forward, touching lives just as Rusty once had. Emma sat on the bench, unfolding the letter once more. The second page revealed a final note Rusty had written. Emma, remember, the greatest way to honor me is not through sorrow, but through kindness. Share your light. Take Buddy on adventures. And when the time comes, tell his story just as I told mine. Our love is not a chapter that ends, but a story that keeps being written. Emma pressed the paper to her heart. A warm breeze swept across the river, carrying with it the faint scent of Rusty's favorite wildflowers. She closed her eyes, and for a moment she could almost feel his presence sitting beside her on the bench. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, Emma whispered, "Thank you, Grandpa. We'll be okay." Buddy rested his head gently in her lap, his loyal eyes gazing upward. She stroked his fur, feeling a sense of calm wash over her. Rusty was right. In the days that followed, Emma found solace in the support of her friends and neighbors. They brought over meals, offered a listening ear, and helped take care of Buddy. Slowly, Emma began to heal, taking comfort in the shared stories of Rusty, the man who had touched all their lives in his own unique way. She remembered his infectious laugh, his twinkling blue eyes, and the way he had a story for every occasion. But most of all, she cherished the love he had for Buddy, a bond that transcended words and connected them all. One evening, as Emma was going through Rusty's things, she found an old photo album. As she flipped through the pages, she saw images of Rusty as a young man, a mischievous grin on his face. There he was with his parents, their faces etched with love and pride. And then there was a picture of Rusty with a woman whose eyes twinkled back at her, a woman Emma knew only as Nana. A wave of affection washed over Emma. She missed him terribly, but she was grateful for the time they had shared and the love that continued to sustain her. With newfound determination, Emma began sharing her and Rusty's story with others, not just because it kept his memory alive, but because it brought people together. She organized a community cleanup day at the riverbank, planted trees in Rusty's honor, and even started a dog walking service with Buddy as her trusty sidekick. Through it all, Buddy remained by her side, a constant source of comfort and strength. His tail wagging, his eyes full of love, he seemed to understand the weight of the letter he had carried all those years. In a way, Buddy had been a silent witness to their extraordinary love story, a story that had endured even beyond death. And as the seasons turned, Emma knew that although Rusty might be gone, their story was far from over. It was merely continuing in a different chapter, a chapter filled with love, loss, healing, and hope.